Well, hello everyone. Friday Night Live. How are y'all doing? Thank you for stopping in. Um, Welcome to our special guest. And first of all, everyone recognizes Trisha G.
hmm
It's really, really early or really late over on her side. And I am honored to have, well, I just don't know how to say this any better, a very special, special person. Warrior Princess, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. We have one other guest, and I'm just waiting to see if they do come on. They're a little bit late, but welcome everybody. How are y'all doing? Hey, Brian, how you doing? Michael, good to see you. Jerry, welcome everyone to a great evening. I think it's fabulous. Spring is up here in Colorado. I can tell you this, the weather is fantastic. Trisha, you're in like what, Noah's flood or something?
Yeah. We've got a bank holiday weekend this weekend, so we have two bank holidays in May, the beginning and the end. And this stereotypical British weather, we're going to have a wet bank holiday, which,
Ew.
because we're in a seaside resort, is not really very good.
It's cold, right? Damp.
Wet, very wet. It's rained for days, and it's going to rain for until mid next week.
So there's no bikinis or no hot dogs, and all right. Well, that's
Well, there
well.
might be hot dogs, but I'm not sure about.
So, Warrior Princess, this is your first time coming on, and I just want to say you have been an active person in the chat rooms. Most of the people know you already by your handle. And listen, when Trisha told me what you were doing, I was moved immediately. And I'm just going to kind of lay the groundwork, and I certainly love to hear your story. But when I heard that you're doing something that many others don't, we all want to do something, but many of us don't know how to do it. You are actually doing that, and you're doing this by feeding hungry people by your food bank. And when I heard that, and that the fact that you were struggling, that I said, well, this is not right. We have great people in this community, and I believe that we can maybe start something new in this community by helping others. And tonight, Princess, I would like to see if we could come in, and I've set a goal of raising $500 for you. And the way that I see that we can do this, a lot of times people say, well, I can't afford very much. And that's true. We're a lot of people are like that. But what I have found that if you have a small amount and then that's matched by another person, and I've set $5. I mean, $5 is in US, I guess what is the pound? That would be what?
Maybe £3.50-ish.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Here's $5. Now, this is something that I think everyone can afford. And if you don't have electronic means, or if you don't want to do it, I know, Princess, you have the PayPal account set up. In fact, I will share that real quick with everybody so everyone can see. And I'm going to leave it in here, but uh, here is your PayPal account. And I'm just asking that if you can't donate by PayPal, send her $5 in the mail. And here's how I look at this, ladies. We know $5 will not change the world, but it could change the world of an individual. So I have spoken enough. And Warrior Princess, you now have the floor. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this, the need that you see in your community, and we'll just kind of let it go from there.
Well, I kind of wait a minute. Can you see me?
Oh, yeah, we can see you. We can hear you too.
I'm trying to get back to my screen. Okay. Well, I wasn't looking to start a food pantry or run a food pantry. I was kind of like thrown into it, kind of, sort of. I was asking about the lady who previously had the food pantry.
Okay.
I used to volunteer and help her sometimes because she was an older lady and she passed away. And I didn't know that. And I guess by me, used to volunteer to help her, I kind of got nominated to open the food pantry.
Sound like you got drafted.
Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much did. Even though I didn't know nothing about opening the food pantry, I just kind of helped her out. So I just kind of, yeah, pretty much got drafted in it. And so I started from ground up as it had been closed down for like 3 or 4 years, I think.
Wow.
And I kind of went in there and just didn't know what to do. And I just kind of winged it until I got it started.
You just got in with both hands and just said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I made it
So
happen.
you and I talked earlier, and one of the things that I was taken by was the fact that your food pantry, your food bank, is the only non-religious one in your area. Is that right?
Yes, and I think that's some of the reason why I struggle a little bit because I don't have like a really, a church backing. I know as
Mm-hmm.
far as most churches, they have their congregation to
Yeah.
back them up.
Yep.
I don't have a congregation,
You got a family and a community here.
so I think that's why I'm having a little bit more harder time. There's no religion in my pantry, and
Excellent.
I'm getting more and more people. More and more people are coming to my pantry signing on because there's no strings attached. I'm just there to feed the hungry. I'm not there to judge. I'm not there to throw religion on nobody.
Mm.
And, when you walk to my pantry, when you walk to most other pantries that's around me, they're churches.
Right.
There's a
Right.
pantry right down the street from me, but it's a Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
So, once you walk up there to the church, I mean, you already got guilt and
The obligation. Exactly. We
yeah,
know how
everything.
that is. Yeah.
I'm just in a building, I'm in a building with other businesses, you know, um, we're laid back, there's no crosses, no come to Jesus signs or anything in my building,
Well, I admire that. I have to
there are
say
no
that.
Bibles, no pamphlets, nothing of that sort in that pantry. It's just food, you
Yeah,
know. And I feel like the people are more comfortable coming there,
I agree.
because there's no judgment. I hate being judged. I
I
hate
don't
being
like
looked
it.
at.
I think it
I hate
sucks.
being looked at different, in a different way. I know other people hate that too,
Yeah.
especially if you need help. That stops people from asking for help.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You think you're going to be judged for asking for help? A lot of people won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm more laid back, family oriented. If people need to talk, I talk to them.
Excellent.
I can relate to a lot of stuff people might be going through. And, if they need an ear, I'm there. They need guidance, I'm there.
You
So,
see,
it's a little bit more than a food pantry, it's, you
for the
know,
soul.
a counselor if you need me. It's just, I don't know, it's just like a group of family.
Yeah.
It's very apt. So, can I just interject? It's very
Sure.
apt for Lois's life path number 4 as well. The
Okay.
rock of society. The person that will be there, they like to create structure. They're very good at building a structure for people. So it doesn't surprise me.
Excellent. And by the way,
That's
y'all
just
need
on the life path. Sorry.
so no, she's a Laugh Path 4 and go to her channel because you'll see her actually doing what she talks. And what I admire about this, Lois, is the fact that you walk the talk. Now, I don't have the, in my particular thing where I could actually do that, but I could certainly support that. And that I know that you're out there, then the money that I would be giving you would give you that. I think that there's energy transferred in that. I really do. If the money is given with the fact that I know it's going to feed somebody's belly, but at the same time, Lois, you're feeding their soul. And you're not doing it with religion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, anybody that's listening, when you donate without attachment and thinking, what am I going to get back from this? I donated something, I'm not going to say what it was. And all I could afford at the time was about $30, but it was better than nothing. And something happened to me, totally unexpected. I received, within a week, 20 times that amount back from someone else, completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, oh, give because you're going to get back, because that's not the idea. But if you give without no attachment, you're doing it for pure, to help Lois, to help the people, you'll be surprised what could come back to you, and it might not come back straight away, but it will come back to you.
It will. My personal experience with hunger is that as a child, my mother and stepfather, my stepfather was an alcoholic and literally drank the paycheck away. And I can remember my brother and I, we would go sometimes 2 days without eating.
Wow.
And hunger is terrible. So when I heard that what you're doing, Lois, I wanted to do something that we could do. So let me ask you something. And in your community, is the need growing? Because I know where you live in Louisiana. Tell us a little bit about your community. Is the need great there?
It seems that more people are coming to me for some reason. I'm finding myself taking on more and more clients. That could be part of the reason, because I'm not faith-based.
Yeah.
But most of the time now that I open, I got new clients. And so my biggest concern is usually about halfway through me serving, we start scrapping. We start scrapping for food. And I like to at least start like I started, with the food, if I have meats, I like to have meats at the end.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or cereals for the kids, or eggs, butter, I have all types of stuff. I don't just have canned goods,
Processed food.
Canned goods for, anywhere. But, I try to have an assortment, because you need protein and all this stuff, for the body. So, I usually order my stuff from the main food bank. We're not allowed to call ourselves a food bank. We have to call ourselves a food pantry.
Oh, okay.
So
I did not know that.
We can't call ourselves a food bank. We are a food pantry. There's only one, main food bank. So
I did not know that.
yeah, they reserve their name. Your food pantry. We can't call ourselves like the food bank,
Well, I'm going to remember that one, because, that's all you need. We're trying to help people. And the next thing you know, you're getting slapped with a copyright thing. Well, excuse me.
Yeah. So, just to let everybody know, I can't, I consider this the food bank. I'm on the food pantry. So, the main food bank, some people can go there and get food, but the food bank gives food. You can go purchase food and get food. They give food out to the food pantries.
Okay.
All right. The main food bank. You can go purchase food, which I showed in one of my videos. I had made a purchase of some food and I went to pick it up. That's what a lot of pantries do. Okay. And sometimes, and then too, sometimes when we have like disasters,
Mm-hmm.
it hurts the food bank, and then the food is low that we get in certain areas
So this
because
is
the food
you.
goes to the, yeah, that's me. That's at
Okay.
the main food bank that I'm going to pick up.
Look at this,
I'm showing
folks.
my list I had ordered, and we getting ready to pick up the food that I had ordered for that day. That's the main food bank.
This is wonderful. You know, folks, this is what I like. You know, credibility means everything. And it does. I mean, you're laughing there, Lois. Did that strike a chord? Because it is. Credibility is everything. And
Who takes you to go and get the food then, Lois?
Well, we had to get a church van to go get the stuff because all that stuff don't fit in our car,
mm-hmm.
and so we can only use the van twice a month.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that
I was going to try to get a vehicle, but I just kind of put that on pause for the time being, because they always complain about the gas.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we just use them twice a month when we have big purchases.
So here, so
yeah,
you
this
get
is
to go
us going to
there.
pick up
This is great. This is and what I like about this too is that the diversity of the food. You know, it's not only just the cereal, as you said, the canned goods, but it's meat, it's protein,
yeah.
and you know, some people are vegetarians. Most of them aren't. I am not. I like meat.
Well,
So,
we got children too, so you know, I have to think about the kids with the cereals, and you know,
yeah.
because the majority of the kids,
Well,
you
I'm
know,
glad to see that, you know, number one, that there's a cooperation that, you know, you are non-aligned with a faith-based organization. You are an individual who's taken up the cause because, you know, we're all different. I like the fact that, go ahead.
and my son who's standing there with a Jesus shirt on,
Uh-huh.
he just happened to have a Jesus shirt on that
Hey,
day.
listen, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
That's my son standing right there. My kids are loading the van.
So your
I use
children are
that.
very much involved with this as well, right?
Oh yeah, they're all my help. That's all the help I have.
Oh,
Wow.
give them a big hug for me. That you know what? That is, you're a good woman.
How many children do you have, Lois?
I have 5 altogether,
Wow.
Okay.
plus a few extras. That's my son. That's my baby boy.
He looks like he's like, Mom. So you
You know,
come
he
here.
was with me, but my other son was at the eye doctor. So I
Mm-hmm.
put him in on it.
Well, I just find that this is great, that it's an opportunity, folks, and we'll stop this. Go over to her channel. I've left the link on this, and this is what I think is important. I really do. This is the things that makes us different. And, you know, I'm passionate about this, and I'm thankful that you're actually doing this.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And if it wasn't for you, Tricia, I wouldn't have known this. And so maybe we can do something. I don't know. The goal is $500. I've already committed the capital to this. This is a worthy cause. And Tricia, you drew some cards prior to coming on here. Did you not?
I did. So I drew 3 cards
Okay.
about how tonight would go, or just the energy. And the first card we got was the Ace of Wands. So this is about an offering. This is about new beginnings. This is, you can see the leaves growing on the rod or the wand. It's about things growing, prosperity. It's like an offering. Somebody's offering you something, but it's fire-based, so it's action. And then we got the High Priestess, which is, you know, the psychic lady, the intuitive lady. She's using her wisdom and her knowledge.
Excellent.
2 card. And then we got the 2 of Cups. I just drew 3 cards. So now this is a love card, but it can be about a partnership, people coming together for a cause. So, but it's also a love card as well. You know, 2
I
people.
love this.
Yeah.
Well, isn't this an expression of love?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this card could be a partnership in business, or people coming. It's not always about a love relationship. It could be people partnering together.
Those are some high energy cards.
They're brilliant cards. Yeah,
Like,
I think,
wow.
you know, they're great cards. I was pleased with those.
Well, so Lois, was that me or was that sometimes I hear some very funny things in these headphones. It's like, you know.
It wasn't me.
That's my phone going off.
Okay, because sometimes I'm going, you know, all right, the spirits are all around me.
My phone's muted, so it's not me.
But listen, it's all possible. I really do believe that. So so you basically then will buy in bulk with the money that you have, and then you take that back to your food pantry.
Right.
And then people who are knowing what you're doing, they come to you, and you in turn give them something that I think is the most precious thing that they need, and that's food. And I believe as well, and I'm getting the sense, a lot of love.
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell, you know, the environment, you can't tell that we're strangers. You
I
know,
love this.
you can't tell we're strangers because we all seem like family. And that's what I love about it.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I get the sense that we could actually live vicariously through your generosity. Tricia, you were saying about this. I like this because this got goodness all around it. I mean, everywhere you look, it's good. I don't see a downfall here.
No. I just intuitively felt the need, because I was going to do something on my own channel, just do readings, and people could donate, you know, whatever they wanted for a reading. And I just happened to I didn't plan to mention it when we went live, and it just sort of came out. But perhaps I was meant to like share it with you, because to me, power in, you know, the more people we can get together, and it speaks to, we're both life path 9s, we're humanitarian, it speaks to our humanitarian nature, you know. I wouldn't help with something if I didn't intuitively feel right about it, and I did.
Yeah.
There was no doubt. It just felt good to do this.
All day when I was doing about what I had things to do, in the back of my consciousness, this was always there. And it told me that there is something very good about this. I really sensed that there is going to be something very good born out of this. So what I would say, Lois, is that I think that there are good things that have arrived at your port.
You know, when I started doing this, you know, I had some like bad things going on in my life. And I think the pantry and coming across other people who needed my help helped me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of helped me because I know other people was depending on me. Because I had some pretty big stumbling blocks.
Well, you've
Like,
had some physical challenges too, right? I mean, health-wise.
Yeah. And knowing, I don't know, it's just something about knowing that these people count on me, knowing that I can help, knowing that I'm needed, knowing that I'm doing something good.
Folks, how
It's
can
helped,
you?
it's helped me.
There's
Gives you
88 people
reason to
here.
get up in the morning, I imagine. You know, if you're struggling, when you know that you're doing something good, it gives you that purpose and that reason to get out of bed in the morning, because you know you're doing something good.
I've come across a couple of people that really needed me to talk to them.
Yeah.
He was really having some troubles.
There's a proverb that says, a word spoken at the right time, how sweet it is. It ministers as a medicine doeth the heart.
So,
That's something I can invest in.
so it's
So,
trying to help me.
well,
But it
listen,
does. I think when we
Deborah
wow,
Tucker.
Deborah Tucker. Oh my gosh.
What? Well, Deborah, that money is going to go to you, Lois. There's $100 right there. Wow.
I got goosebumps going off left, right, and center right now.
Hmm.
Even
I'll try
before
not
that.
to cry. But
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
Wow.
gonna try and put it into
even
this.
when,
Mm.
because I sometimes I have other people who might come in and speak to the people, like Medicaid or somebody who might come in to try to help assist, with
Mhm.
different programs. And I know shortly it was a little bit after my mom had passed away, and I was really going through it because that was like a big hit for me. But I had to open that pantry.
Yeah.
I had to open that pantry.
Sounds like it did some healing for you.
It didn't stop me from opening that pantry. I had to open that pantry. I was going through it. My mom,
Mm.
that was one of the biggest hits, but I had to open that pantry. It's like these people need me.
What I admire, Lois, is this. You tackled something that you didn't know anything about. You knew that this was something you had to do. And the courage that you face that with it's a testimony for every one of us in here watching this. I mean, I just obviously, Deborah, you have just been, the generosity is just overwhelming. And I've got a sense that
Thank you.
when this, and I'm going to leave this up, this will be up there in the archives, that maybe it will be a tool that will be a continual channel to meet the needs. Listen, I think about this, folks, and ladies, let's talk about this. You see, if one person is changed by the kindness, the generosity that is coming from you, Lois, that this community is backing, that's a lot of good energy flowing into a lot of people. And the life, I just think about this, if one life is changed, that one life could begin to impact millions.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this.
When we were talking about the scale of consciousness the other day, Wayne, I was talking about Mother Teresa. Look how she had one small woman, how many lives she impacted, because she was small. She was small in height, but look at the power she had, like through her generosity.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this could be the start of something that will spread to others in the spiritual community, the metaphysical community, that where they can begin to get involved into their localities, find that unspoken hero, find that person, they're out there. We have ours. Lois, we're adopting you, just to let you know that. But I believe, ladies, this could be a start of something where we start seeing YouTube channels suddenly having events just like this, feeding the community and not just filling their bellies, but filling their minds and their hearts. And that's what I like.
Definitely.
Yes.
I mean, I see these channels where people they're doing pranks and my son was telling me that, and they obviously feel they're worthy and there's nothing wrong with that. There'll be people do pranks and get like thousands of dollars super chatted to them, for just doing pranks. So I'm not saying, but use the PayPal as well. But to me,
Melanie, thank you.
Helping
Get her
people like
attention.
this, sorry, is more beneficial than donating to pranks. But you know, everybody has the thing. I'm not judging, but this is, to me, feeding people's bellies is more important in my mind. But that's just my thing.
I can tell you, my brother and I'll share something with you. You know, children. So, confessions of the soul. Um, when I was with my mother, it was very difficult. And I remember on the school playground, it was actually snowing, and I knocked a kid down to steal his lunch so that my brother and I could eat. Now, that's what happens when children become hungry. And let me just tell you, it's the same with adults, but with children, it's a little bit more. So I don't want to ever see a child ever have to do that, to steal in order to eat. That's nuts. And I don't want them to think that they have to have a religious dogma tied to it in giving thanks to something that is unseen, that is actually being done by people that they can actually touch.
Yeah.
Now that's how I see it.
More places. I like to see more places like that. I like to see more of an expansion of places like that, because, you know, more people might reach out for help. More people might be able to be helped. You know?
I like what you're saying, Lois, because you could be the example that would help other people. They could come to you and say, how do we get this started? How can we get organized? Obviously, there are, as you were saying, we can't say food bank, we can say food pantry.
Right.
And obviously each state will have its own regulations to it, but there apparently is quite a maze to be traversed to get to the point where you can start doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't really think off the top of my head any other place around town that's not in a church.
See,
me.
I'm sorry.
sitting up here trying to think, and I'm even the Salvation Army has its own church.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. It's
you think you can go to the Salvation Army, but even the Salvation Army has a church. They have their own church van. They have church services.
I'm hearing
Salvation Army without church.
Bingo. I got John Lennon's song going in the back of my head. I'm hearing Imagine. So that's where my head's at. So that my spirit is like really. So Trish, what are you feeling there?
Sorry, I'm a bit sort of. In what way? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I think that look at the energy that's happening in here. We're a small, intimate group. Because typically the chat rooms are, 2-3 times the size, but the intimacy of this group tells me I like these people. I like being around these people. Yeah.
I also think you're right. Like Lois could end up being like someone that guides others to create, she's like that spokesperson that will be able to, I've learned in life, when I learn things, I end up often being then able to teach others what I've learned, and I feel that's what she's going to be able to do. She's going to be able to show others the way, and in time, when things are flowing more for them, she's going to be able to then show other people how it's done.
Okay, because I agree.
She's learned the hard way. She's been thrown in at the deep end.
Yeah.
Well, there was something. I mean, listen, the way I look at it, she just said, "Screw the shallow end. I'm going off the big board." Everyone's going,
high end.
Do you really want to do that? It's like the guy that fell off the building. They asked, the neighbors, did they hear anything as he was falling? And one woman said, yeah. And the cop said, well, what did he say? She said, well, I heard so far so good. So I believe that this is something. There was something, and I'm going to use the word spiritual about this. There was something speaking to me. Trisha, it spoke to you and it got transferred to me. that said that there is something here. I don't know what it is.
Well, actually, what touched me was that Lois videoed it, and I watched her videos on YouTube, as I wouldn't have known. So had she not done that, I wouldn't have known what situation she was in.
Well, Lois, would you continue to do that? Because then we can live vicariously through you. And I will commit to this, to have you back on. I'd probably have you back on once a month. And let's see what we can do. And in the interim, we'll see how it works within the community. I think this is a beginning of something.
Of course.
Yeah. How do you feel about this?
I love to see it grow. I love to see other people doing the same thing. That's like a big goal, to see other people doing the same thing and getting, people not, the judgment of them, and feeling comfortable to go ask for help. Because, we here to feed, not judge.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't even brought up with religion. And when I went through a sticky phase, I felt embarrassed to ask for help. I felt I might be judged, and I wasn't even brought up with religion. So when you got religion thrown into it, it must be worse.
Yeah. Well, it's
harder.
It is.
Yeah. It's thank you very much. But there's sometimes a little obligation to go on that. And I think that, give freely, let people know. And I think that, Lois, your vision, I believe, can come alive.
Yeah.
You and I talked earlier, and there's ways I believe we can begin to see this. So many in our community do not understand entrepreneurship. They understand the passion, and many of them go about this. But so often what blocks people from really beginning to launch their vision is, how do they get financial support for that?
Right.
Now, I can tell you, the venture capital community, the angel investment community, are very generous people, but what they like and will demand to see is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So already that's what I saw. That's what I saw with you. And I said, here is an individual who's not coming out there playing some kind of a scam or something. This woman is doing it. And I said, go ahead.
A whole filing cabinet with invoices and everything.
You know what I saw?
I keep up with everything.
It was your son, your youngest one. Look at, and this is what I would expect. He knows his mother is doing the right thing. And at that age, he would be much rather out there doing probably sports or something else. That's a good young man.
And also, you're teaching him through example.
Yes.
Children copy what we do, not what we say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lead by example, not by the words that really come out of our mouth. It's what we do. So
I'm going to work with you on this. I'm going to take this on as a project, and we'll put it out there. We have to develop a business plan. The vision, I believe, is workable. When you look at, how is a venture going to work? I learned this from Bill Gates way back in the 90s, and at a conference where he was speaking at. Can you imagine that? Bill Gates was actually speaking in the day, but he said, any venture that is socially impacting has a virtual assurance of success. Lois, what you are doing is socially impacting.
And Bill Gates is a master number 22-4. So he's a master builder. So he's the visionary, Same with Richard Branson. They're the same type.
They would know. So there is, all right, I could be talking more and more, but I want to hear more from you, Lois, because I think that this is why this is your moment. And I'm excited about this. I really am.
I'm kind of all speeched out.
Yeah, and I guess when you're not used to somebody helping like this, or people, it can be a bit overwhelming, can't it?
I've
Yeah,
got to.
I mean, I've done GoFundMe accounts, no help. Um, I mean, this is not the first time I've videotaped events, but this is the first time I put it on YouTube instead of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Because, last time I was doing it all on Facebook, and I would go to GoFundMe Facebook, and I did like when we had like a seminar and stuff, and I went to the seminar, and because sometimes we go have seminars for people who run food pantries and stuff, and I kind of videotape that so they can see what we talk about and what we do.
Excellent.
And I put that on Facebook, but I had nobody donated. I think I did it like 3 times, nothing. So I said,
Well,
well, this time try YouTube. So this is what I did. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try YouTube. And first out, this Trisha's calling me and said, well, I'm gonna try to help you. And Wayne wanted to get on board. I'm like, wow.
yeah.
Stars aligned.
I'm just going to say it was meant to be. And you see, I believe that the opposite can happen. When you know something that you need to be a part of and you don't do it, you cut it off. There is what I would call a reciprocating benefit to the individual that pursues it. And if you cut that off, then that's going to go to someone else. And I sense that there is a wave somewhere here. And this is something that we can get behind, and it's something that can work in every community. Let me tell you, if you think about this, whether you want to look at people like the seers like Nostradamus, if you want to look at many of what we're seeing today in weather, food is going to be important. You know how to buy in bulk, where to go. And I think that this is something that we can do all around the place. So that's just mine. Jason, don't worry about it. Listen, here's the thing with what Deborah Tucker did. Just think about this. That was 20 people. That's the $5 campaign. That's the way I look at it, Deborah.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
I'll always, and something I'll say is, don't ever think that you will never be in the position where you're down on your, because I never thought it would happen to me when I was made homeless, a year and a half ago. Never in my days. I'd always earned decent money to keep over it. Never in my life did I think I'd been made homeless. And tell you what, it knocked me to the ground. So just don't, I'm not saying it's going to happen to people, but don't ever think, you're above everybody, and it will never happen to you, because I never, ever thought that would happen to me and my son. But
And if you're ever in a position, I'd love to have someone like Lois that would be a source for me to go to, because I know I'm going to get more than just food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you've been down and you're back up, and like, obviously for my life, I've dug myself out, me and my son, and I'm a lot more, it's made me more aware of other people that are struggling as well, even more so.
Yeah. We love humanity here. I'm getting so many emails. People are saying, thank you for bringing to my consciousness that it's not man or woman, black or white. We're sapiens. We are a species with many races.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gotten over, I guess, 16 now that I've counted, of people who've said, I never saw another person as a sapien. So we're going to start doing some wise things here. And Lois, you're our first, I love this. You're our first endeavor.
Woohoo.
And Trish, it's all your fault.
I consider it good for once. Yeah, I'm a good person, really. I'm not the devil in disguise.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I have such admiration. This is just, y'all are reading the comments in the the chat room there. I'm not. I'm just glancing over there
I'm
because.
catching bits, but I'm not able to stop. I can't concentrate now, but
Well,
I am a humanitarian at heart, and I want to do more of this as I, progress through my journey, because it makes me feel good
yeah.
knowing I'm doing good, rather than because you receive, when you give, you receive, that I've got more. It's made my heart feel light just doing this.
Well, see, something I think about, Lois, in what you did is that you went into the unknown. You were familiar with the territory, but you did not know how it worked, and you went right into that. Wow. Your name is absolutely correct. Warrior Princess, because you have to be a warrior. Is that how you came up with that? I mean, I'm curious how you came up with that because it's perfect.
Well, I looked up the meaning of Lois, and Lois, I think it was like a warrior,
Yeah.
meaning warrior. And I just put princess at the back on the end of it.
Well, you are a princess. So is Trisha. Every woman in here is a princess. I know.
We're goddesses.
That
Warrior
was like the
princess.
meaning of my name.
I love that. I love that. Warrior princess. And you have shown that it takes a warrior spirit to many times overcome the fear.
Because she's had, she's got her things going on. She has every reason, Lois has, to say, well, I've got my problems. Why should I help anyone else? She could have every reason to say that, but she doesn't.
I love this.
There's a lot of people. Oh, sorry, there's somebody saying something really nasty. I've just.
There are people who just feed on hate, and they have not learned that these are people that are hurting. When I see people that try to disrupt where love is ruling, I mean, they can't do anything. What they're really trying to say to us is that I'm hurting. I'd like to be with where you people are at. How do I do this? That's what they're saying. They're just writing it in a different language that they're not familiar with. That's all.
And this might be one of the ways, because I've been hurting, If they watch my YouTube channel, they will see some things. They will see some of the things that I went through to where I've gotten to this point, and I'm still standing.
So I hope you don't mind me sharing, Lois. You became a mum at 14, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
That's not easy.
No.
And she's not had it easy.
Wow. Well, we're going to make a change.
I watching her videos. I was like, oh God. My heart was breaking open, because I can't imagine what that must be like at 14. But look at now, she's still going.
This just tells me that there is such hope. I know our species is facing some challenges, but when I have the privilege of meeting someone like yourself, Lois, that's just part of it. Well, it's true. I mean, it's a privilege. When you meet a giver, you meet a lover who loves humanity, that sacrifices their own discomfort, their own health, their own financial. That's a privilege. So anyway.
Don't cry. Don't do that.
I'm getting emotional, because I know people that have got all the means to help people, and they're so cruel, and they're so tight, and they make people homeless. And
well,
you've got nothing.
It's just some people who
sorry.
I could have, I could be hurting. I could be going through so much. But it's like when I see somebody else hurting, my hurting stops, because then I have to fix this person.
Whoa. Now,
it's like I have to help. I have to help. It's like, my pain has to stop right now, because I got to go help this person. I have to go help that person. And I think that's why I'm still surviving, and as all the things I've been through, because then I have to stop and I have to go help this person. I have to go help that person. And I know it's different for everybody. Everybody has to catch their own hand or some type of way. And this has been mine, I guess. I was walking downtown one day and it was just a whole lot of people sitting on side this, the corners, you can tell all these people are homeless. And I'm like, it's a homeless shelter right down the street. So, I'm asking the lady, she has a hospital band around her arm. And I'm like, why, aren't you at the place? This is another project I want to do later on down the line, because most of these shelters charge homeless people to stay there. And I'm like, if I'm homeless, what money do I have? If I had money, I wouldn't be homeless.
Yeah.
If I had money, I wouldn't be homeless. And everything she has, she says she's in the buggy. She just got the hospital. She still got a hospital gown on, everything in the buggy. And then I'm seeing other people down the line. I didn't have much money. So I went into the nearest store, broke the biggest bill I had, and I just went down the line, just gave everybody, money that I had to spare, because I'm feeling guilty. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Can't nobody afford to go live in the shelter. Nobody has money to go live in the shelter.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
But you wonder why you see homeless people walking up down the street, laying on the street and everything. This is why. Because the homeless shelter is no longer free. And since it's no longer free, they have no place to go.
Is this common now? I've never heard of this. And if this is what's happening, we're going to do a story on this then, because that is insane.
Yes,
what is wrong with people?
This is why you're charging people that it's because this is another thing, but it was another part of that unit that I was in that I wanted to rent out, but she already rented it out. And I wanted that section to be like another part to where people could stay in, but it's already been rented out. And that's what I was going to do with that part. I was going to I was thinking about putting beds and stuff in there for people to go stay in that part. I already had the food pantry. They just needed somewhere to stay,
Well, every journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Tonight, we've taken that first step. So we're going to do this, Lois. We're going to do this. You and I'll give you a call tomorrow. Tricia, we'll continue we're going to promote this. This is going to grow. And way to go, Tricia. Thank you.
Don't get me crying again.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Tricia, this is how much we all love you. This much. So
I'm sorry. I didn't mean, that's a whole nother subject. I'm sorry.
No,
but that's another passion of mine,
I love it when
passion. You need passion to make change. If you're not passionate about it, nothing will change.
I don't know how many people know about that, and that the homeless people are going through that. Even at the Salvation Army, you have to pay.
That's nuts. Well, I'm going to look into that.
I'll have to find out in the UK. I don't know if that's the case in the UK, but being ex-military, I know.
If anybody's watching and y'all know of any shelters, homeless shelters and stuff that's around you, call and ask.
Yeah. This is nuts.
And when we come back on posts, I want to post in the live chats and just see. I want to see how many are just free.
I'd like it. And people, if you could do that, let me know, because I'll take and it's not that I doubt your veracity, Lois, but I want to hear this from other people. And I'll take this to a senator that I know. And if this is what's happening, then this is the type of laws that need to be enacted to prevent this type. That is the lowest of low. I mean, when I see humanity get to that point, to the depravity that you're profiting off the misery of others, you're no longer qualified to be a human being.
And also so many ex-veterans, American, UK,
Yeah.
that are homeless.
So I just want to say,
don't call us, like you want to stay there. Don't act like you investigating. Call like
No.
you need a place.
Yeah, like you're going to be staying there.
Find out.
I'm going to find out in the UK.
See how many days are free, and then see when you have to start paying.
Yep. I sometimes believe this matrix.
Everybody come back online and post it.
Yeah, let's post it. Just go ahead, and I want to see that. It's like we're living in a false reality. You get this one idea that apparently our economy is booming and what have you, but I'm seeing what in Los Angeles, estimated now 70,000 homeless. I mean, in one city. Here in Colorado, outside Boulder, up in the foothills and the mountains, the biggest problem we have is with homeless people. They need a home. And unfortunately, many of them that come through here, they don't know the weather. And so we get large forest fires from a result of that. So, yeah.
Do you know what got us out of being homeless was my son took a summer job. And being self-employed in the UK, I don't know about in America, they went 6 months rent in advance, which I didn't have.
6 months rent in advance?
Plus deposit. And my son's
Angel Moon, thank you. That all the money donated tonight will be going directly to Warrior Princess and her food bank. So I'll give everyone a tally of it because she's the one that's going to give us the numbers. And
yeah, he got a summer job and
6 months.
6 months rent. Everybody, this is what held us back. And my landlord is a Muslim, okay, and so this proves not all Muslims are bad, because he said, I want 1 month's rent in advance and a deposit, and as long as you pay your rent, he renews the contract. We don't need to do anything as long as you pay. My next door neighbor's Muslim. She's the nicest person she's number 9. And this is where
I've never met anyone that was in any way negative. That was
unfortunately Muslim has bad because of and there's a lot of British white people that do terrible acts. But my landlord's a Muslim, and he was the only one that gave us the chance to have a roof over our heads in our position.
He's a good soul.
And he never bothers us. We hardly ever see him.
He's a good soul. Yeah.
And that taught me to not, because I've been brought up with, my father was a little bit judgmental of different, although he had friends of different ethnicities. It taught me that everybody is not, not all Muslims, and that was a big lesson. He gave us a home. We would have been on this, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
And he never bothers us.
I think this is cool. I mean, we're learning something here.
It taught me huge lessons, huge.
Well,
I thought I'd grown a lot as a person, but I grew even more, and we will always keep growing.
We do. That's why we're here. Until the day, and I'll tell you, it doesn't stop once we leave here. Whew. But I know this. Boy, are we sowing some good seed tonight, folks. There is going to be a bumper harvest. And so, Lois, I'm going to have you back on. Maybe like to have you on once a month. And that way we can get an update. Tricia, would you commit to that?
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll come out, month from and be about Labor Day. And we'll do a show. And this will give a good opportunity for people to see what they've given and what the result is. Now, where else can you do that?
Somebody's made a comment that squatting is legal in South Africa. Well, it's not legal in the UK because I lived with my mother for 8 years and she could make me homeless. So squatting is not legal here.
I don't think it's here either.
It might be in some places, but no, there used to be squatters' rights in the UK after some years, but no, it doesn't
If there was a country that was offering homestead land, I mean, that's something I would consider.
I'd love to have so much money that I could buy so much property and rent it out for, affordable living for people. That would be a goal of mine, or it is a goal of mine, actually. If I had millions to buy lots of properties, I would do that, because I know what it's like to be in that position where you might be self-employed and you just haven't got that big lump sum to give somebody.
Well, we're doing a good job here.
You never know. One day.
One day. Lois, much love to you. I'll be in touch with you tomorrow, and we'll get this follow up. Deborah Tucker, thank you. Angel, thank you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Wayne, for doing this.
No, listen, this is fun. Are you kidding? I feel like I'm a kid getting a benefit, It's like, seriously, this is how I feel about it. I got invited to be on the merry-go-round, and now they're giving me ice cream. So I am like the real winner here. So thank you both. Trisha, much love to you. See you next Wednesday. Yes. Lois, we'll see you again. Folks, thank you all for your generosity, your kindness, and your love. Let's do something here that maybe will spread through all the YouTube channels. And we could sit back and I think it'd be like taking a warm shower. So that's how I look at it.
And I'm going to donate as soon as I get off here. I'm going over to PayPal.
Well, okay. Well, thank you all. We'll see y'all again real soon. Sunday morning, I'll be with Jeff Doherty over on his channel on the New Cosmic Knowledge. We'll have fun with this. Love y'all. Take care. We'll be good to each other.
Yeah. Go be kind.